Hey there rulers, DMO73 here, bringing you the deck profile for the Ningus Hyde that we played earlier this week. Let's go ahead and jump right in. Ruler School is brought to you by Odyssey Games, where you can go to pre-order upcoming Force of Will sets, ccgprime.com for singles and supplies, cardodoko.com for those rulers in the international market looking for product, the Ruler School Circuit Series now offering our 2024 Quarter 1 Circuit Kits, and our guest lecturer members, Fight Ramen. Class is in session. So here is the list. As always, you can go ahead and check the link right to this list over on Force of Wind in the description. And I do want to give a huge shout out to Shiky from our Discord, who has done several of our Discord events, piloted this list, showed it off to me, and we had a lot of discussion about it and brought me to this, which has been honestly a ton of fun. And as always, before we dig in, if you haven't already, you should be sure to get those pre-orders in for Pilgrim Memories. It's just coming up next month, and you are not going to want to miss it. So, we're playing Hyde. The whole idea now is we just don't care about contracts at all. Obviously, Iga is kind of the linchpin of the deck. It gets us so many cool play lines with terms of quick cast, and then you can do some really insane things because of Rusty Ningus, which is just absolutely insane. So the whole idea behind Rusty Ningus is you get to start using an activate ability to start swapping your ninjas back and forth, as well as putting cards back down and flipping them face up. So things like Rusty, Rusty's Fox, Whistling Summoning, all kinds of cool stuff. You can buy back some stuff. It doesn't do a ton with the buyback, but we don't have a ton of ninjutsus, but you can pitch other versions of Rusty Ningus, and you just could do a lot of cool stuff. We really don't mind having the loss of Moon Children, because we're probably just going to burn X the Black Cat's God's Art immediately, and then use the dual resonator so that we can go into one of the two Aristellas we have. Usually you'll go for Aristella Twin Prince first, and then pull in Aristella Ascendant. Main reason for that is we want to turn on our contracts, Flight of the Holy Sword, as well as our Birth of the Twin Princes for some additional flexibility here pretty quickly. And then eventually the reason why we're playing both is so that this can just be a zero cost quick cast 9/9, which is not bad. We're probably never going to use this target ninjutsu chant to give Remnant, because the only one that really applies to is Whistling Summoning. Most of the time you just want that card to be face down in the EX area, so you can keep flipping it face up over and over again. And then going into the build, obviously we're playing a pretty standard ninja package of 4 Rusty's Fox, 2 Rusties, because again, now we only have to pay 1, and it's an activate ability to kind of get him into play and start using that steal ability, which is really nice. 3 copies of Aristella and Hyde, 3 copies of Spider, 2 copies of Whistling Summoning, 4 Igas, 3 Spy Missions. This card has been absolutely insanely good. Just really good to be able to quick cast peek at your opponent's hand, and then also have a setup for a spot removal later, especially if you have Iga just chilling, which is really nice. 3 copies of Lorite in the main board, because we do want to be able to mess with some activate abilities. It's just helpful even in the mirror. You could always also consider the idea of playing Hyde, I suppose, but ultimately, because you also want to stop automatics, Lorite does the job too. 3 copies of Lucifer, Defeated One Wing. This is mainly so we have an out Dark Tree in the main board. The idea being that you can just keep looping your Whistling Summoning over and over again to continuously buy back the Lucifer to then drain your opponent to death, which is super helpful. A little bit of ramp with some Flute Dragonoid Captive Child, as well as some spot removal if you need it, or board clear if you need it. A couple copies of Tinkerbell, because it's very easy to get 2-drops into this deck into the field because of Rusty's Fox. Only costs us 1, is 2-drops, so it does a very similar thing to what we've done before with Tinkerbell. 3 copies of Ningus, 2 copies of Girl Staring At, and another addition here is Spider Breeding Ninja. Just play it as a one-of. You didn't see it in the build that we played on the channel. Because it generates those 2 spider tokens, those are just helpful to be able to, do some pinging and stuff like that. Stone base wise, we have Secret Stones of the Cat Moon, and then we have Water Moon Fragments and Magic Stone of Moon Shades. I should mention as well, with Spider Breeding Ninja, this is also a way for you to potentially mess around with Dark Tree, because you can keep flickering Spider Breeding Ninja back and forth as she's a ninja and just generate a ton of spider tokens, and then you can just instant speed kind of poke Dark Tree as needed too. Sideboard wise is pretty meta dependent, but obviously a couple copies of Inferno. This is really helpful against things like Dark Tree as well as Typhon. 3 copies of Setting Stage for if you're playing against cancel heavy decks. A couple copies of Lumia. A nice little package of Aphrodite plus Rumsfeld for some grindy games. And then lastly, a couple copies of Muse Staring At, just to kind of hedge out the bases. So there you have it. That is the list. As always, you can again go check out the link in the description to go straight to it if you need to re-review it. And again, huge thanks to Shiky for talking with us about this list. was a ton of fun to build, and honestly, it's one of the most fun decks I've played in quite a bit. So really huge fan of Hyde. Looking forward to playing it more. Let me know what you guys think in the comment sections down below, or how you're playing Hyde differently. And until next time, this is GMO73 saying class dismissed.